Countdown time's over already? What's going on here? What's going on here? All right, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm all out of sorts, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. There we go. All right. I don't know what happened there. I got up for a second and I didn't realize what time it was, and I put my headset back on. The countdown music was over. The stream was almost ready to go, but now we are officially ready to go. Kind of fumbled the intro there. What's going on, though? Good to see everybody here in the house. Thank you for tuning in for another systems stream. Let me get my Volanta set up here. Start that flight, track flight. Boom. That is ready to go. Where we at? Baltimore. All right. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Baltimore going to Chicago Midway, an airport that is super short runways. We're going to do some issues. Are we actually going to land in Midway? I'm not sure. We're going to be messing with the hydraulic system today once again. I know we did System A yesterday. System B is today. I do know that the flaps are the heavy user of System B, so it'll be interesting to dig into the systems manual for this one. Captain McGee, what's up? Good to see you. Joe Plains, Tout Ray, my man. McAllen is in the house. Dandry, thanks for the 12 months as well. Old Aaron survived. That kick was embarrassing. Man, what a game last night. That was so wild. I'm so happy for Mr. Aaron. I hope the Steelers... look, I'm actually going to be pro Steelers and Texans. I'm changing loyalties. I'm going to be pro Steelers and Texans. That way I can't lose come next week when they are in the playoffs. Because, I mean, go Texans, and I'd like to see Aaron get a little bit further on. But we're ready to rock and roll. Last minute livery change. We're in the Illinois one, since technically Chicago is in Illinois. The Maryland one is on a 700, so we don't have that operated today. I'm saving the LoneStar1 for a little Dallas love down to Mazatlan or something like that later this week too. So got a pretty sweet livery, got a brand new update for the interior cabin, some cockpit textures, and a fun day of flying ahead of us. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. Aviation dude, good to see you. I lost money on that football match. I'm mad and happy at the same time, man. Good to see you, Aviation dude. Welcome in. Classic Jet Sim Pilot, my man, good to see you. Blowing through another 4,000 foot restriction, are we this morning? The only better livery for MDW would be the Astrojet. That is true. So here's my plan. Astrojet, I'm thinking Friday, we're going to do Astrojet from Miami to San Juan, and we're going to trigger a failure every hour. A random failure every hour or something like that. I think that is going to be the plan, and we'll see if we can make it all the way to San Juan. Friday will be my last day streaming. I'm going to check into the hotel, I think actually on Saturday. I don't need to check in Friday night. I don't have sims till noon, so I'll check in on Saturday morning, and it should be a fun little flight on Friday we do. So it's ready to rock and roll. Mike Delta, good to see you, my man. What's going on? Good to see you. All right, Phoenix guys, I hope I catch that one live. I'll be on duty. Excellent, man. It's so quiet in here. Hold on, what's going on with my sounds? There we go. Got my sound set. So, I'm actually... No, it's not. There we go. There's my environmental sounds. My goodness, took me a second to figure out what's going on. Like, why is everything so quiet? We're going to be trying a little Iveo today just to see if it runs smoothly. That's why you won't see Beyond ATC. Probably not the best day to try this because we're going to be dabbling with failures indeed. But that's why you're not going to see the Beyond ATC traffic. Plus, it's kind of distracting when we're trying to focus in on actual systems stuff. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. I got to say, though, Mark convinced me to switch to Maryland 1 here, and it is actually a pretty dang good livery. Pretty dang good livery here, the Illinois 1. Now, I just downloaded the scenery also. This is pretty good. I don't have this is a new Baltimore scenery for me. I never had a Baltimore 24. I took the free upgrade. I guess it's pretty much the same thing, but it's pretty good. We're over here in the Southwest terminal. Iveo regular aviation dude, actually. Iveo regular. So. True story, my retired captain friend from Southwest actually did lose all hydraulic fluid in 7.3, landed here at Phoenix with empty reservoirs. Wow, AZ308 GTS, that's pretty wild, man. To lose them all, that's pretty rare. Wonder what kind of failure they had, or if it was a mechanical induced failure, someone forgot to put the covers on or whatever. Latin VFR, that's what it is, Joe Plains, that's right, Latin VFR scenery for this flight, yes indeed. And we also have something in Midway too, but anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and get to work. Back in our our office today of the 737. Now, what I do like about J'Aviation, man, he absolutely crushes it with the liveries. He configures the liveries to have the cockpit equipment configuration as close as he can get to the actual aircraft configuration. There's tons of different configurations for the 737, so having a little bit different configuration is pretty cool. I'm probably still going to just do my procedures the way that I normally do them. We might mess with the start switches this flight just because you guys like to see additional buttons switching around, but generally I'm just going to try to stay with what my equipment will be. Jeremy Harvey in the house. Good to see you, my man. At least you still have flight controls even if you use all hydraulics with the 737. That is true, Jeremy. That is true. You do have a mechanical backup drive with the 737 flight control cables, which is nice indeed. All right, let's go. Starting here with the flow, we've got, make sure we've got our CRC emergency equipment, circuit breakers. How's our fire extinguisher doing? We're in the green. That's wonderful. We'll come over here. Captain will have his bag stowed. We'll throw Mr. Randazzo's jacket up in the situation there. And before we get too far ahead, we need to turn off cabin lights because that is one thing I do not like. Automatic cabin lighting off, off, both zones. Off, 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 off. Maybe we have to have power to the airplane. I think we have to have power to the airplane. Okay, we'll do that. Let me put this in checklist FO mode right here. Captain, first officer, let's do this. Let's go ahead and request all the vehicles. Let's go ahead and get the services going. So we'll request those, and they'll actually start showing up, which is pretty cool as well. So vehicles are requested. Let's go ahead and get the airplane booted up. Battery switch is coming on. Standby power closed. Alternate flaps lever is closed. Electric hydraulics are off. 3 green lights down there in the gear. Ground power is not available. Why is that? Let's go over here to ground connections or requests, please. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we also have APU air off. I'm not getting any. It's on arrival hold. Okay, so we're going to have to start the APU on battery. That's fine. Let's watch it. So we got the battery up, 37 amps. We can actually do a battery start here on the APU. This isn't a max, so let's go ahead. Well, we can do it on a max too. There's just a couple of different things you have to look for. But we'll keep an eye on the bat discharging light here, 37 amps. Let's see how many amps we draw when we fire up the APU. We'll keep the fuel pump off, and let's go ahead and do a start. Now, technically, I think we come down here, we do a little APU fire test. Yep. All right, now we can go ahead and start the APU. Oh, now ground power is available. All right, screw it. Took forever to get the ground power. Ground power is coming on. That was going to be a cool little test. We'll do it next time. But I do have the APU air is in op today. APU air is in op, so we'll be doing a ground start with the crossbleed. Oscar Stick, what's up, man? Sauce Gardner, the worst record in the NFL? Dude, Sauce Gardner is absolutely terrible, dude. Fleeced the Colts, best trade ever. I never liked Sauce. I think he was overrated from the get-go, man. Alberto D, what's up, man? 4161, welcome to Commercial Pilot. Welcome back, man. Look at that V1 badge, Alberto D. Good to see you, man. Hope you're having a happy new year. All right, battery power is connected. Now we can continue with our overhead flow. We'll do the alternate flaps. That checks. We're going to throw you into nav. No. We'll do dim on the dome light. That looks good. On the sea lights, we'll extinguish 3 greens. Oxygen check. Beautiful. That looks good. Stall warning. Stall warning. Shaker 1. Shaker 2. Come down here, we'll take a look at the hydraulic quantity. 99% would be in quarts for the other configuration. We need 12 quarts for the NG, right? So we got that. That looks good. I guess we can blank you for right now. So with that, the hydraulic quantity is set. Park brake set. Check our yellow book, all that good things. Do this and go ahead outside, do the walk around. All right, we'll set that. We'll get a magic barrel ref set while we're waiting for the barrel for the alignment. Let's go to our electronic flight bag. Let's pull out our flight plan. Here we are today, and we'll go to WinWing programming cam. Let's go ahead and get the FMC set up. Pause and next page. We've got to wait for those to populate. It's been a minute. So while that's populating, Let's go ahead and run the rest of the overhead flow. These are all closed, guarded, yaw dampers coming on. Spar valve is blue lights, fuel tank lights out, that looks good. Battery is no longer discharging, that looks good. APU gen is off, we're on ground power, that checks. Cabin utility and IFE is on, everything looks good on this panel. Coming down this panel, emergency exit lights on, off, check. Window heats coming on. Probes and autos, hydraulics off, door is open, CVR test. Vertical hasn't gone live yet. Thank you, Flight Sim guy. We'll launch you right now. Well, vertical is live now. Thanks, man. 0, the pressurization, trim air, everything looks good here. Let's go ahead and set flight level 360. That's our cruise altitude. Midway Airport. Let me take a look here. My real world charts. Midway elevation. 600 feet, 612. So we'll call you 600 feet. That looks good. We're in auto mode. Get the logo lights on. Wing lights can stay off. Position light is in steady. Coming across our EFIS control panel. Let's go ahead and get let's cycle the flight director here. Let's get it all set. We'll get terrain mode up. Flight director, auto throttle, flight director. Then coming back through this side, we've got nose wheel steering switches in norm. We did mess with that yesterday. Very cool to see that actually simulated properly. Everything looks good. Lights are annunciator test. Tapes and 8s. Beautiful. Back to bright. Fuel used. Reset back to rate. RTO on the auto brakes. Self-test extinguishing. Looking good. Coming through here, we'll put FMC. We'll leave you on the FMC page. There's our position. Go ahead and copy you over, bring you back to page uno. That looks good. A route, we'll do a flight plan request. Sim brief route, Baltimore to Midway. Select route. And that's requesting. Alright, unable RNP perf, that's normal. Alright, coming back through here, everything looks good. We already did a fire test. We'll do it one more time. There's our APU detector in op. I actually think I went the wrong way. I think you're supposed to do that. And then this one, get the wheel well light. 1, 2, 3 engine overheats. That checks. But also have the master caution up there. Reset. Bottles. Check. Cargo fire test. Discharge light. Forward and aft. Looking good. We'll get the radios set up here. We'll do 1 and 2. And we are on 22.8. Radio check. Okay, good. That's good. It looks good. All right. Pry IMC. That's fine. We're squawking 2000 in the transponder. Trimmed out 0. Stab trim override switch is in normal. Flight deck door as associated. Flight plan uplink ready. We'll load you. Get that loaded up here. I want to see. Let's see something here real quick. Oh, wow, how to get my audios. Did you hear that? All right, cool. Activate, execute. Second, I'm looking at my other monitor here with SimBrief real quick, making sure this was filed correctly. It was indeed. Alright. And we are Pang 7 Fort Wayne. And we're planning 15 right in Baltimore. Cool. Alright. That all checks out. We're not going to get actual ATIS today, right? Because we're actually on the network and we're just going to suffer in silence. It feels empty without Beyond ATs. This Beyond ATs is my first flight without it. Actually, feel a little empty on here. Let's go to the departure arrivals. Let's go Baltimore departure. Planning on a 15 right today. The departure is Fox Hill 1 to Ramey. So Fox Hill 1 to Ramey. Execute that. Back to the route page. Let's go departure arrival Midway arrivals. We're planning on. I just said it. Off the Fang. It's 22 left, Pang, not Fang. 22 left, planned. So RNAV, X-ray, 22 left, Pang 7, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Execute that. That looks good. Take a look at the route page here. We'll go legs. And then we're going to step through this. We'll go plan mode. Zoomed in. Let's go back to the top. We're going to step down this. That didn't look right. Thames Fox Hill May all the way across. Ping 7 going into Baltimore. Alright, let me zoom the range out a little bit. We'll come back to Baltimore. What do we got going on in here? We got some Star of David stuff going on here. 1-5 right. Let's see. Baltimore SIDS. Oh my goodness. The Fox Hill? Really? Okay, so it's not. It's a climbing right turn, 1-5 right. Why would we be on this? SID. That's a super tight climbing right turn. Alright, what the hell? Let's do it. Super tight climbing right turn. What in the heck? Why do we have two lines, though? Wherein? Then Bobby J. Okay, we got Bobby J. And then Flacco, Joe Flacco. Wherein Bobby J. I don't know what has that 360 there, though. Flacco. I guess it's fine. It looks strange. Alright, but it looks fine to me. Alright, init, root perf init. Let's go ahead and hold it right there. Let's get the APU fired up. Let's go ahead and get you cooking. We got all our vehicles there. Looking nice. Alright. Is Beyond ATC dead? No, I love Beyond ATC. Not done Beyond ATC. I'm just trying, I'm just testing this for this stream right now. Oops. Because what we might, I might fly on a little bit more. We'll see for if we want to do a group flight or something. But I love Beyond ATC, man. It's just when we're doing the failuring stuff, I wouldn't say it's a waste, but it's almost like it's kind of unnecessary. Because we're not going to be listening to what they tell us to do anyway. We're doing our own thing. Beautiful sounds on that. APU is spooling up. We're not going to use the APU bleed. APU gen is available. APU's on both sides. Let's go over here, wait and balance. We'll load plane from SimBrief. Brings us 330 center tank fuel, so we'll actually start pumping it, see if we can get it out before takeoff. Might get a light. Nope, there we go. It's 500, right? So lights are off for now, that's fine. Fuel tank pumps are on, seatbelt sign is on. That's coming on. So we have to do a ground air start today as well. We got to pull up that procedure. But before we do that, let's bring our zero fuel weight in, 128. The reserve fuel, 2.2, 2.6, where I'm going to put it there, 2.6, cost index of 67. Uh-oh, cost index of 67. Would you recommend Beyond ATC before we go to VATSIM? Yeah, Gray Austin, highly recommend Beyond ATC. I think Beyond ATC is a perfect tool to get you warmed up for VATSIM. Absolutely. Only done a couple of flights in the Duke so far. No airliners yet. Rusty, nice, man. All right, squawking 67. Cruise flight level 360. Let me spin that in up here. We finish the rest of our programming. All right, 360 up top. 360 in the box. Cruise winds would come in from the... from data link. Let's take a look at our flap plans today. Taking an 800 off 15 right out of Baltimore. We are all planning on, ooh, we got a flaps 15 off 33 though. 15 right right here. 15 right. DTO1 bleeds on flaps 5. So we're going to keep it at 26K. Should we do a D rate today? Should we actually start getting... Let's do it. Let's do TO1. Climb 1. Take off. Flaps 5. CG of 24/7, 4.9. 34, 35, 45. We'll spin in 145 right here. Turks, I actually don't know because I've never seen the actual TPS yet. I think there is. So the one in training, well, yeah, there was one in that I looked at on ground. I thought I had multiple flap options. But ask me in a couple weeks. All right, flaps 5, speeds are set, 45. What are we taking off? 15 right. So it's 111.7. And we need to set up the final approach course for our return. ILS 15 right, course line 155. 155, heading 155. I hate the Ravens kicker was supposed to be in the playoffs. Ah, man, I love it, Richard. That's why I was actually going to fly Pittsburgh to Baltimore, but it's too short. We need to do an E-Jet flight on that. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We might have time to do an E-Jet stream this afternoon, this evening. There's no football tonight. We might do a Pittsburgh to Baltimore, take all the sorry Ravens back out of Pittsburgh. I was pulling hard for the Steelers last night. All right, 55 across the board. 111.7 is the freak. So let's dial that in. All right, 111.7 is set both sides. Speeds are set. That's all set there. Terrain mode is up. TCAS, we're squawking 2,000. Throw you on TARA. And I think we are ready to run a before start checklist to the line. Cool, let's run it. Before start checklist to the line. Takeoff data and before start checklist to the line, rather. Parking brake set, oxygen check, navigation, transfer and display switches, normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization, auto and set. Terrain display, selected. MCP. I knew I was missing something. Set. Displays checked, auto brake, RTO, fuel quantity and distribution. We have 16,000. Where's that? It doesn't tell you a total here. Interesting. I don't like that. That's why we don't have this. 16-something thousand pounds on board and checked. CDU checked. Engine start levers cut off. Transponder TAR, aileron rudder trim 00. Departure brief complete. We're doing a right-hand turn. Seatbelts on. APUs on. Buses. Fuel panels set. Flight forms AML on board. Accepted aircraft 869er. Actually, no. What is this one? 619 Fox. Flight 4, we did that. PEDs checked. All right, so now we have to pull out our, we have to prepare for ground start here. And we are TO1, right? Let's go back, run on back. Yeah. Let me go live full. And let's start prepping you ground ops. So, how are we going to do this? Let's go to the ground vehicle services. We're going to release everybody here. All right, so they're all going to leave. And then we're going to need to connect air start unit. And I have to pull out the procedure for that. So we'll watch everybody leave the aircraft here while I pull out the air start checklist. Baltimore to Cancun, that is true. That is true. All right, here we go. thought I would have favorited this one, or linked it or something. Alternate start procedures. Starting with ground air source. I'm going to bookmark this one right now. All right. Starting with ground air services. Damage to the aircraft can occur if the ground card external is placed under the wing. Must be started. Engine 1 must be started for number 1. If off center, number 2. Blah, blah, blah. All right. We're going to advise ground control on the ground that we're going to do an engine start. Pack switches, we're going to configure you now. We'll go ahead and pack switches are off. APU bleed air switch is off. And we're pretty much ready to start. So why are our doors still open here? I need you guys to leave. Catering and baggage is back. What happened? We got some last minute bags, or what's going on here? Next day, a win will result in a random bookmark page. It's annoying, even more fun if you use a highlighter, random blobs of yellow. Oh yeah, I don't use the highlighter. I'm aware of the updates wiping things. I don't know why that's a thing. We have all this technology and we can't save our bookmarks in an update. I don't know. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. It'll probably happen right before your check ride. You'll have everything bookmarked and tabbed and ready to go, and then you'll get a big revision right before your check ride. All right, I'm going to need Mr. Catering to leave here. Cabin cleaning. We're clean, man. Let's go ahead and go. This is Southwest, not Delta. Let's go ahead. You can leave the aircraft. And then we need to go to the doors. Close all. Request the air start unit, please. Alright, he's leaving. Finally. Here comes our air start card over here. Ladies and gentlemen, Flightbox 145 Southwest 5357, service over to Midway, land of the Mids. You can see here we got our air card is drifting in. We're going to be doing a ground air start here on the ground. It's going to take an extra couple minutes. Do apologize for the delay. It's going to get a little bit warm in the cabin. Once we get those engines running, we'll cool off pretty quick. Once again, thanks for choosing Southwest Airlines and welcome aboard. Wow, that sky does look fantastic, Rad Brad. I just looked at what a sunrise. My goodness. You could tell if he has been out of the regionals a decade, he doesn't have air start favorited. Yeah, I know it, right? Alright, sounds like the air start card is running. Alright, so with the air start running, though, we can actually pull the jet bridge. Will it let me do this? Jetway connection release. They're going to leave us. I don't know why we have a truck there still. Ground power release. We got the air cart is connected. Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and run it. So auto's coming on, electric hydraulics are coming on, packs off, APU bleed is off, anti-collision light is on. Check, verify, 3,000 PSI. Wonderful. Cockpit to ground. Ground cockpit, go ahead. You ready for engine start? Affirmative. I know you're hooked up on the left side, but we're going to start engine number 1 first because that's our procedure, so you're hooked up on the wrong side. Not a problem. We'll be clear. Start engine 1 at your discretion. All right. So, start clearance from ground crew obtained. Pack switches off. Air pressure should be minimum of 30 PSI. We have a minimum of 30 PSI. Engine 1 start. Use the normal start procedure. Grounding 1. Wow. What a sunrise. It's all the tears from the Ravens fans reflecting off the clouds. Alright, we got N1 rotation, fuel on. To minimize hazard to ground personnel, external air start should be disconnected. Engine 2 started using cross-bleed start procedures. That'll be next. Cross-bleed start. I love the hyperlinks. Cross-bleed start procedure is primed and ready. There's the pack cutout. Oh, chat, we never did below the line. Probe heat on. Hydraulic panel set. Doors and windows. Close and lock. Anti-collision lights on before start check is complete. Now that we start number 2. Sorry about that. Hit the like button if you've never done that in real life. Alright, we got a good start on one around the cockpit. Cockpit ground, go ahead. We got a good start. You go ahead and disconnect ground air, please. Copy that. Ground air disconnecting. We'll pull chocks. Let us know when you're ready to taxi. Ready to push. Alright, we'll actually throw that on Gen. So Gen 1 is on. We're using APU for electrical. We could technically shut it down at this point, but we're going to keep all things normal. Uh-oh. That was weird. Frickin' 2020 sceneries. Cockpit to ground. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Brakes release. Clear to push. We're going to push back from the gate. Then we'll do a cross-bleed start here. 777 stream Houston to Pittsburgh this week. Ooh, Osco Stick. Houston to Pittsburgh and a 777. Nah, I got to do it something else. 777's kind of mid. Let's do... I actually looked at that. Could we do A340? Yeah, this is Latin VFR. 2020 scenery. I always have stutter issues with 2020 sceneries, man. It's a pretty good looking scenery. We got the cabin lights on still. What do you think of Rex Atmos Core for 2024? Unnecessary, man. Unnecessary. Math, it's good to see you. Just wait until you fly with the wind controls, force feedback stuff without hydraulics. We have been working with them for a while. It's very, very cool. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I would love to experience that. I still have cabin lights on. I gotta activate my inner flight attendant here in a minute. It's a pretty good pushback here for Mr. Alt P. Cockpit around, push complete, set brakes. Brakes set, clear disconnect, show me the pin out front. And we're not going to start number 2 in the alley. We actually have to get out on the taxiway. So what we can do is, since we're going to single engine taxi, we're going to prioritize us. APU bleed is off. Isolation valve is open. That pack is off. Alright, cool. And actually, let me look up something real quick. Alright, single engine taxi with engine 1 operating. Left pack, auto. Isolation valve, auto. Right pack, auto. Oh, but this is with the APU bleed on. Yeah, so we're going to leave you open. We'll go right pack, auto. And we're going to leave APU bleed off. Engine 2 bleed on, engine 1 bleed on. So that's actually how we're going to configure it for right now because we don't have APU bleed. Alright. Brakes released. And ground. Southwest 357. We need to do cross bleed. That's Southwest 357, roger. Taxi. Alpha Papa. Cross bleed to start. Approved on Papa. Alright, crossbreed to start on Papa. Let's see how this thing single engine taxis. And we're going to hold the after start checklist until we get number 2 spinning. How do you switch controls from passenger views? Custom views, man. Custom views. Just bind them. You got to have your keybinds bound correctly. And then you can go wherever you want with your custom views, man. A lot of videos on YouTube on how to do it. I think that's the best way instead of trying to use the default view system. I mean, it's a default view system. You just have to learn how to bind it. Set your own views. All right, we're going to slide over to Papa, and then we're going to do a crossbleed start on Papa here. Now, we could probably do this while taxiing, but since I am single piloting, we're just going to set the brake here when we get straight. Going all the way down to 1.5 right. Binding views are the best thing you ever did for the sim? Exactly, Zach. Yeah, you got to learn how to do it yourself, and then you're set. You'll always be able to set your exact views whichever way you want them, man. Don't forget to make sure there's an RJ behind you when you crossbleed to assert dominance. Verify that our gust lock works. Indeed. It's funny, TJ, or what's your name in the Discord? I know who you are. I don't recognize your YouTube name. YouTube being weird, but we were in San Jose, and we were number 2 behind an RJ who was behind Alaska, and Alaska was trying to do a crossbleed start. And the RJ's like, "Hey, can you tell that guy to like just settle down with the power up there? I'm getting blown around back here." It's pretty funny, man. All right, so we're going to do a crossbleed start here. We will be able to do this while taxiing, but since I'm an amateur, we're going to do it with the brake set. So, brake set, crossbleed start procedure. All right, crossbleed. How do I get rid of this search thing? Why are you on there? All right. Crossbleed engine start. Intake and jet blast area clear. Engine bleed air switches on. APUs off. Packs off. So reconfigure. So packs off. Engine bleed air switches on. APU bleed air switch is off. Isolation valve switch to auto. Ensure bleed supply. Add thrust lever. For the max, we leave it at idle, but we want to advance number 1 to get about 30 psi. You can see down there we're only about 10-15 psi. Let's go ahead and bring it up. So 30 psi is sitting about 40. Oh yeah, a little more juice. Right about there. Let's go ahead and ground 2. See the pressure drop. We want to adjust to maintain enough bleed pressure, right? It just says adjust to 30 psi, whatever it says. Turks, yeah, it doesn't have an N1 recommendation on it. All right, we got N1 rotation. Let's go ahead and fuel on. We're going to monitor this one here. Goes light off. There's a cutout. We'll bring 1 back down. All right, normal start procedures after that. So number 2 has been started. So we'll go boom, boom, boom. That's going to stay off. APU is going to come off. That's going on bus. The captain missed that. And we'll finally do our after start flow. Trim 4.9, flaps 5. 125 is set. Speeds 45. That all looks good up top. Normal and auto APUs coming down. And since we're in Southwest, we'll make you guys happy. We'll throw those into cont. After start checklist. Anti-ice as required. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleed set. Flaps set. Flight controls Set. Recall. Check. Let's go. Southwest 357. Continue taxi 15 right. Alright, we're hustling now. How we looking? We started the stream at 11. It's 11:42. Cross-bleed start, ground air start, and we're ready to roll. I like it. Before takeoff, checklist to the line, please. Takeoff data and bugs. Closeout received and checked. Flaps, 5. Green light. Stab trim, 4.94 units. Takeoff brief complete. HUD is set. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. Auto. And set. Before takeoff, checklist to the line. No beyond ATC today, man. I'm actually testing Iveo on this one here. I thought Vodka was going to fly along, then he bailed on me. So I did it for nothing. But yeah, and it's crazy how quiet it sounds without beyond ATC. I really miss beyond ATC. I love beyond ATC, man. I really miss having the ground clearance, having Jeff Faviano run a checklist for me. I got a door open, and I got the stupid cabin lights on still. Alright, we'll go ahead and let's get out of here. Do a rolling takeoff. Boom, boom, boom. Wing. Strobe steady is coming on. 5 pounds per takeoff. Door alert. What door? I don't have a door. Open. Get out of here. Alright, that's coming down to 5. Oh, you know what we never did set? We never set our barrel bins. I know I forgot something. 300. Oh, flight deck door. Alright. Baltimore traffic, Southwest 357 departing runway 15 right, be a right-hand turn out going northwestbound Baltimore traffic. Alright, nobody's in the way. Gotta get used to doing those, my actual ATC calls now. Clear right. Clear left. Let's do a rolling takeoff like Southwest. Get those yogas in check. Spool them up 40. Yoga. Flight director's new and beautiful. 80. Missed it. 80. G1. Rotate. Ooh, no callouts on this. I like that. I'm going to have to configure my other ones. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Fly with. Man, Illinois 1 is a pretty sweet livery. Look at that eagle. Derated takeoffs are so mid. Why anybody would ever do a derated takeoff in the sim is beyond me. Alright, there's 1,000 feet acceleration altitude. Let's float everybody in the back. Look at this sunrise filled with Raven fan tears. Make angle check to the right, flaps 1. Flaps up. After takeoff checklist, please. Looks like our ND got back to what it's supposed to be there. Had a full circle initially, but now it's looking good. 230 here in the turn. Beautiful Maryland departure, man. Beautiful. All right, after takeoff checklist, gear lever up and off, RTOs coming off, bleeds packs, set APs off. Missed the turn there a little bit. Cabin is moving. At or above 4,000 feet for Bobby J. That's a piece of cake. We'll get rid of the terrain. We'll throw weather radar on. ET is not on our checklist. No. Ain't nobody got time to hit the ET button. It's not 1949 anymore, Romulus. We have equipment that allows you to start that automatically. There's our FMC speed now, coming up to 250. That's a pretty fun little departure. I haven't done Baltimore in a very long time. A couple of years ago, I thought I was Baltimore based, man. We did nothing but Baltimore out of Dallas. Truck Karen's here. What's up, man? Complaining as always. Good to see you, buddy. At our 9,000 below. Oh, my bad. That's why I wanted us to level there. Nobody got time for that. All right, Command A is engaged. 10,000 foot flow. Retract's coming off. After takeoff checklist, verify it's all been done. Flaps, gear, auto brake, air conditioning, anti-ice, AP, beautiful. Best thing about the departure, leaving Baltimore. AJ, thanks for $3 super chat. Amen to that, dude. Amen to that. Oops, I don't know why I have that camera angle on for you guys. Sorry. Should have been that one. I had some, okay. Got some stuff triggered to do its own thing. Oh, I should have blanked this earlier. There we go. What I need to do is first turn the sounds down, and then I need to turn off these stupid cabin lights because they're going to drive me nuts. Off. Off. There we go. Now when we switch views, we don't have to see the divine light coming through the cabin. Real question at Whiskey November interview. You are scheduled to fly Baltimore, Cleveland. What do you do? Call in sick. How long do you have until you're done with type rating? A month. 2 months probably. Just keep the cabin lights in auto, I don't touch it. Yeah, but in auto they're on and the dark, and I can't stand, there's nothing I can't stand more than panning through my window views and the just divine light in the camera move. I wish you could just, you know, switch view instantly and not have like it be like a new loaded view. You don't have to translate through the cabins, but we haven't had that feature since like FSX. But seeing the bright lights in the cabin drive me nuts, and I think it hurts my frames, or it makes you stutter. It makes my system stutter. When the cabin lights are on and I'm slewing through the cabin, I feel like I get hiccups. master caution light. There's one of our failures already. Okay, master caution light, that came on quick. Standard 18,000 feet. Get these off. We got to overheat in electric, hydraulic, 1. Alright. Overheat in electric, hydraulic, 1. Pull out the QRH. Hydraulics. Hydraulic pump overheat. Electric hydraulic pump switch affected side off. 1 pump supplies sufficient pressure for normal system operation. MFD system switch push. MFD system switch push. Choose one. Affected side hydraulic pressure is 3,300 psi or less. Yes. If it is greater than 3,300 psi, it is not. So if it is 3,300 or less, end of procedure. Or I guess go to number 4. This is weird. So the big black boxes, I guess, are end of that. So choose one. Oh, go to step 4 if it's greater than 3,300. It's not. Okay. So end of procedure. We'll continue on. There's 18,000 feet set standard. We missed that. All right. So we got electric overheat on number 1. We still have 3,000 psi. Yes, yes. All right, we got 1. Yeah, we're going to be dabbling with the System 2 today for sure. We'll keep on flying, though. Things are looking good. Man, these failure streams have had some beautiful cloud layers. Why can't it be a midday, no clouds, where you just want to stay in the cockpit? Adjustable cabin lights are a huge FPS hit, I heard. Yeah, definitely. With Chase Plane, there is no transition. It's instant. Really, Ali Samling? Well, you know what else is instant with Chase Plane? Is crash to desktops. Not a fan. Why do some people add 5 knots of V2 when setting up the MCP? That's probably just their SOP, man. So we just put V2 in there. Some people would do V2 plus 5, some do plus 10, some do V2 plus 20. The Airbus SRS is actually, what, V2 up to plus 20, something like that? I don't know, I gotta stop thinking Airbus. Just SOP, man. Different methods. I would rather have 10% higher frames than the cabin lit at all. Agreed. 2 field goal attempts failed. What are the odds? Schmark, did you see at the very end of the game? It was interesting. Mike Tirico was talking in the post game. I normally never listen to it, but apparently there was a priest in that end zone at the beginning of the game spreading holy water on that, right behind that goalpost. And that's where he missed the freaking kick. Isn't that crazy? And then there's the other guy, Mike Tirico, and Al Michaels goes like, "Oh, so it wasn't Lupe's fault, huh?" But that was just a wild game, man. Here's the thing. What's even crazier about that game is if you gave both of those kickers, you said, hey, you both are going to kick the kicks that you missed 100 times now, they wouldn't miss a single kick. Boswell wouldn't miss 100 PATs in a row, and I bet you Lupe would miss 100 of those 40-yarders in a row. But they both missed them. Unreal. I got to go to a meeting. Just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you. Thank you, Captain Overspeed. Haven't had any CTDs on the newest version of Chase Plane. Yeah, but how about the old version? You've incensed the Chase Planites. I know, man, people get so pissed. The Chase Planites. Oh my goodness. Pressure is a real thing. It is, man. It absolutely is. A frickin' PAT. Boswell kicked a 60-yarder in a rush to beat the Jets on game 1, day 1, and he misses a PAT. I thought it was over. I owe T-Tut Company a donut. I told them I'd give them a donut if they won. Ivea works for you, Vodka. I'll turn on in midway, see if we can see the correct models. Nice, dude. Well, We may not end up to midway if we keep losing hydraulics. We'll see. 8350, move camera slightly towards cabin, giga stutter, and 5 frames gone. Really? I haven't flown the 350 in a long time. We gotta fire that thing up again. How the hell do you get the time to watch games? Well, I only watched the Sunday night game because in the afternoon I was putting up my son's big boy bed, and then the first half of the Sunday night game, the kids were running around, being wild. They were making homemade. Since it was the last football season game, they did homemade ice cream and brownies, which didn't bode well for my New Year's resolutions. Speaking of, let's go full screen here. Turks, when are they going to post the freaking bid? Flight control. Wow, I couldn't even tell the master caution was illuminated. All right, flight control. We got low pressure, more, and okay, so we basically lost. We are leaking. 28. Okay, so quick action, system index, hydraulics. What do we have? Hydraulic. Loss of system B. Yep, we've lost system B. All right. System B flight control switch confirms standby rudder. All right, flight control system B. Standby rudder. On. That's going to trip the yaw damper. System B hydraulic pump switches both off. System B hydraulic pump switches both off. Plan a flaps 15 landing. Well, that's going to pretty much cook us for. That's going to cook us for midway. Set VREF plus 15 or VREF ice. Alternate flap extension. Check non-normal configs. We got a lot to do here. Alternate flap extension proceed. Oh, so we get to use the alternate flaps today. Okay, very cool. Now, if I'm correct in thinking that won't, or will it? It will because we're alternate. All right, cool. Wait, yeah, standby rudder is on. And we get our yaw damper back. All right, and we still have the autopilot because we're system A. Command A is on. Command B would not be. Remember yesterday when we failed system A, we lost the autopilot? All right, so we'll clear the caution. 31 for 36. Yeah, we've lost system B hydraulic. So we're going to have to deal with that here when we get to cruise. Probably start setting in motion our landing situation. We'll have to do a bunch of different calculations here. I'm browsing through my procedures. So we will be a flaps 15 landing. Drag penalty. Leading edge flaps, I don't think we'll be able to retract them, right? Leading edge devices extended may make it impossible to reach an alternate field. Is that Turk? Turk Herein, what are you doing? I heard Turk Herein on Iveo Premium. Divert to O'Hare, we're going to have to think about it. It's always Friday. Apparently last year was the second Friday of the month, so if it holds true, then the end of this week you'll know your fate. It's normally only a couple of weeks. Yeah, so that's what I thought. Well, I was just curious because I was thinking about doing an MBE possibly, but I didn't want to do an MBE while that was still active just in case. So whatever. Final Word has actual months that takes a bit more to finalize. Okay, still run like the 70s. That's pretty wild to me, man. That's pretty wild. Can we expect Flight Deck to SimStyle video stream something every 10 minutes? I love doing them on my own. Should be a fun stream. Diabetic Glad. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. I think Friday we're going to try to do Miami to San Juan in Astrojet, and we're going to do a failure every 30 minutes or something like that. That'll be our kind of our grand finale before I get off the streams for a while. AC needed in midway, do not divert. Aircraft needed in midway, do not divert. Well, our alternate, I'm looking at our alternate right now. Our alternate is Indianapolis. All right, 35 for 36. Menu, let's see here. One to go. I'm looking at some other potential failures here. I'm curious, what does an FMC right fail would do? Just blanks it? Yeah, I just got a FMC message. Single FMC operation. Okay. That doesn't really do anything. I was just curious what that would look like. Alright, leveling 360. We're 81 Mach. Got a 90 knot headwind. That's woof. Seatbelt signs are coming off. And we're going to take a look at some of the additional procedures here. We're going to see if we're actually going to be able to get into midway. Wrong side, what's up, my man? Now that you're Mr. 737, you're going to join us on the Cali Crew World Flight Team this year? Man, I don't even know where my left elbow is from my right elbow, man, for this year. I'm not making any commitments, man. We'll see. All right. So with a loss of hydraulic system B, check the non-normal configuration distances. Let's do that first. So we're going to be VREF plus 15. We're not in a max, so we got to take this chart here. Our planned landing weight right now, 133.7. So at 133, it's dry. We're looking at 4,800 feet at VREF plus 15 and flaps 15. What do we have for runway distances up there in midway? Midway runway is 6,500 for 3-1. The winds are favoring. What are the winds favoring right now? Midway, we're planning on 3-1 right. That is the longest. 6,500 foot strip. What's our useful landing distance? All right, on threshold, on glide slope, 5188. Or correction, 4926 on glide slope. Landing beyond glide slope is 4926. Landing at the threshold, 5,800 feet. And our current, what did we say it was, 49? Yeah. So I think we're going to have to rule out midway. Turks, yeah, it does. That's why I didn't want to put the MBE in, because the MBE closed for March, right? So if you had an MBE in March, but you were going to get something in the vacancy, it would get screwed up, I think. Something like that. So I just, to be safe, I didn't do anything. I just left it as is. All right, so we're going to have to divert. That's our initial get-go, because we're also, 5,000 foot. Our alternate is Indy. I have scenery at Indy, so I'd rather go to Indy than Chicago. So Mr. Joe Plains Tower at Ray is going to have an issue. Oh, look, you'll see the map on this side is off. You have to, like, sync it with the... Yeah, that's crazy, because we're single FMC. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at the loss of systems for System B. Do not arm auto brake for landing. Use manual brakes. Autopilot A is available. Flight spoilers, we have 2 on each wing. Roll rate and speed brake effectiveness may be reduced in flight, so we need to slow down and go down. Yaw damper is in op. But if we have standby rudder, it should not be, right? So I think that light is out. That's correct. Trailing edge flaps. Normal hydraulic system in op. The trailing edge flaps can be operated with the alternate electrical system. Alternate flap extension time to 15 is 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Wow. We'll have to see. I hope that's simulated. I should have probably tested this first, but we're going to find out together. We already said auto brakes in op. Leading edge flaps and slats. Normal hydraulic system in op. Leading edge flaps and slats can be extended with steady pressure. Once extended, they cannot be retracted. Okay, so that's going to pretty much do it for me. We're not going to go to midway and potentially not get in and then fly around with our slats out. We're going to go to Indy. Use manual braking. Normal brakes are in op, but alternate brakes are available. Engine 2 thrust reverser, normal hydraulic pressure in op. Thrust reverser will deploy and retract at a slower rate, and some thrust asymmetry can be anticipated, so similar to yesterday. The alternate nose wheel steering is in op, but normal nose wheel steering is available. So unlike yesterday, when we had to use alternates as taxi, we can keep this in normal. The alternate flap extension procedure. During flap extension... Hold on, the wife is asking if I'm ordering coffee here. I gotta get ready. We're gonna need a coffee for this one. Alright, we are standing by to order. Alright, alternate flap extension process. 230 knot maximum during alternate flap extension. Alternate master flap switch arm. So that's all going to be done up here. So we're actually going to arm this. The landing gear config warning may sound if the flaps are between 10 and 15 and the landing gear is retracted. So we'll maybe have to deal with that. We'll see. In this tail number, flap transit light stays illuminated until flap approach 10. In this tail number, depending on initial flap position, the leading edge flap's transit light can stay illuminated until flaps approach 15. I don't know what we have in this aircraft configuration, but it's just something to note there, real world. There's a couple different configurations for the leading edge flaps transit light. Operation within the lower amber airspeed band may be needed until the leading edge flaps transit light extinguishes. If flap asymmetry occurs, release the switch immediately. There is no asymmetry protection. Hold down to extend flap 15 on schedule. As flaps are extending, slow to respective maneuvering speed. Ground, additional deferred items. So let's go ahead and do this. Ground proximity flap inhibit switch. Inhibit. So that's set. If we're in a max, we need to put the ground prox inhibit switch on, but we don't have that. For the max, the speed brake alert will enunciate on landing even with the speed brake lever up. Okay, so we're not in the max. We'll have to worry about that. Additional information. Proper planning of the approach is important. Consideration should be given to the effect the inoperative system has on crosswind capabilities, auto flight, stabilizer trim, control response, control feel, reverse thrust, stopping distance, and go-around configurations. The flaps are extended using the alternate extension. The leading edge devices cannot be retracted. Rate of flap travel is significantly reduced. Maximum airspeed is 230 knots during extension. Alternate flap operation procedure may be used in the same sequence as normal flap extension. For example, flaps 1 or 5 may be used while maneuvering for approach. Flaps 15 is called for after gear down. Allow 15 seconds after releasing the alternate flap position switch before moving the switch again. Interesting. So allow 15 seconds after releasing the switch before switching it again. Okay. Flaps 15 are used to improve the go-around capabilities. The aircraft may tend to float during the flare. Do not allow the aircraft to float. Fly the aircraft onto the runway at the recommended point. With the yaw damper disconnected, avoid areas of moderate severe turbulence. If turbulence encountered, passport, reduce airspeed or descend to a lower altitude. Okay. So consider us briefed. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to start looking at diverting the aircraft. So let's go to Midway. Let's go to a route page. One, and we're going to put in Indy. We're going to execute that. And I'm going to pull up some charts for Indianapolis. Longest runway in Indy, 11,200 feet. Much better. I like that. The weather in Indy. Let's see. 10 miles, 2.9er, 8.9er, 2.3s in use. Perfect. ILS 5s are out, but we're using 2.3. So we're going to land 2.3 right. And we're going to come off of Clang. Or no, actually, Brickyard. So what I want to do now is Southwest 357, proceed direct to Brickyard. Well, actually, what kind of stars do we have? Clang 7? Let's do Clang 7. And actually, I could bring this up here so you can see it. Let's do that. Type. How do I type? Search. Chart error. Interesting. Wait, how does it know? Oh, okay, it already knows. Alright, Clang 7. And we're going to do the Clang 7 off of one of these fixes. So let's clear this out. Let's go departure, arrival index. Clang 7 for ILS 2-3 right off of Clang. Execute. Whew, sorry, I had to sneeze there. And I need to proceed direct to empty. Alright, so now we're going to go present position, direct empty. Southwest 357, direct to empty for the Clang 7. Are now captain problems. Got to start talking to dispatch, got to start talking to passengers, flight attendants, notifying everybody, letting them know what we got to do. We're going to fly the jet for the Clang 7 arrival. No restrictions on it, it's pretty straightforward. Expect vectors to final approach course, which we'll do ourselves. Matter of fact, I believe it actually links in off of Clang. So if we go into plan mode, zoom it down here, let's step through this. That looks good. Yep, right to Clang. And then Clang. So I want this Clang on this Clang, execute. Instead of a vector, we're going to do it, we're going to link it up. Alright, and I want to make this a hard altitude. Racing is at 5 or above. We're going to make Clang a hard 5,000 feet. We want to get down early because of our flap extension being so long. Might need a little extra time to set this up. Alright, I like that. Southwest Airbus 7, you declaring an emergency at this time? Affirmative. Declaring an emergency at this time. Roger. Since you're doing that, present position, direct brickyard. No, scratch that. It's too far. That's after empty. Empty, DQN, MIE. Go here. There we go. Cool. Alright. We're going to plan flaps 15 on this. So as we make the turn towards Mike India Echo, we're going to do flaps 15, 147. And we got to get these courses set up. 230. 230 over here. Another limitation, after you did full flap and retraction case ground, you have to wait 5 minutes for cooling before using the alternate flaps again. Oh, wow. Alright, 230, 230. What is the Barrow? 983. So we're gonna, that's easy to set. We'll just, oh, well, that's standard. We're gonna set 983. We'll hold this down. Love it. Best invention ever. We're on our way to divert to Indianapolis, Dords 91. Alright, 983 on the Barrow, 230 on the approach course. ILS frequency 111.75. 111.75. 111.75. Now, I wonder if we should set up the HUD for this. IMC Alpha 3. Runway. Elevation. 783. Landing distance in meters. 3414. Alright, 3 degree slope. Check that. It is 3 degrees. Alright. We've still got to do... I'm going to do my landing. Can I don't think I can do landing assessments with a failure, right? On here. We're going to change this to Indy. Two, 3 right. Dry. Flaps 15, max manual, no reversers. VREF. What was it? What was it? VREF plus what? Let me go back. Based on data, oh, plus 5. Non-normal condition. Hydraulic system. B, flaps 15. Import the weather. Alright, required landing distance 3490. So, man, you could tell the alternate brakes work pretty dang good. So we should be plenty fine. Let's auto brake. Oh, we can't use... Yep, we can't use auto brakes. No auto brakes, right? So, plenty of landing distance on that. I'm going to run my real-world chart app just to see. While I run that, let's sit on the jump seat here. I have my land app. I've never used my land app. Let me see. You mean the, yeah, the land app. Yeah, I've used that one. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to reset. All right, flap lever 15, thrust reversers both were max manual, 5G penalty, sure. VREF plus 5, landing rate 132.6. So we'll call it 133. Pressure altitude 1,000 feet. OAT is what down there? Do you guys remember? It is... Can't see it. 8 degrees. So we'll round up to, well, we'll set 8 perfectly, and we'll calculate the winds. Curious why not O'Hare? Because I don't have O'Hare scenery installed, Dords. You're thinking into it a little bit too hard, man. I don't have O'Hare scenery, so I'm going to Indy. Wind speed is 220 at 11. So that gives us a 7 knot, really? 220 at 11? Oh, runway heading I gotta set. That's why I was giving us a tailwind. I'm like, there's no way. Runway heading. This land app is kind of funky, to be honest with you. Alright. We'll set that. 10 knot headwind, 1 knot crosswind. RCAM if dry. NG. 4888 is what this says. 4888. So we should have plenty of runway with that. As far as taxiing after landing, we don't have any issues with the nose wheel steering. We don't need to pin it, so we should be fine. We'll be fine with that. Alright, wife is headed to Starbucks right now. Placing order. V1, have you ever been recognized as V1 IRL? I don't believe so, unless I was at Expo. Alright. Phone's down. We've got a 90 knot headwind. And now we're finally caught up. So we've got hydraulic system B has completely leaked out. Don't have to worry about the landing gear extension, right? Because that was on system A. Auto brakes are off. We'll have terrain up on the descent. Shouldn't be an issue. It's all flat. We got 230 course lines. Our ILS is set 111.75 both sides. Baro 983 is set. Plan. All right, so I guess the last thing we need to think of is this flap extension schedule. I'm going to want to, I just want a really long final, right? So let's, I want to be lower than normal. So clangs at 5. Let's make pens at 5. That'll give us an extra 16 miles. Or an extra 10 miles. So I'm going to make pens a hard altitude of 5,000 as well. That way we have a nice long straight in final. Almost straight in there. Not a lot of maneuvering. And we can start messing with the alternate flaps. As far as the operation of the alternate flaps, we're going to arm this and we'll move it with the alternate flap switch. We can also monitor the leading edge devices up here. Flaps 1 through 5, flaps 30 and 40. So 1 through 5 look like that. All the lights work. Cool. All right. I don't have any questions. Do you have any questions? I think this is going to be easy peasy. Just another day cooking with the J'Aviation livery here. Let's enjoy some outside cabin shots because it's about to get real busy on the descent. Maryland 1 looking good. Is T-Toot? I thought I saw T-Tut's name here. No. Are we in grave danger? KW. I don't think we're in grave danger, my man. We set up a diversion. We're heading to Indianapolis for scenery purposes. And we've got everything set up for the approach. We know we got to do alternate flaps. We've briefed the alternate flap extension procedure. So I don't think there's anything else we need to do. We already set the additional items, deferred items. I think we're looking good, guys. We're looking good. Any liveries with speed tape on them? You know which one does, Firefox? The J'Aviation American Classic one that we flew yesterday. There's speed tape on the engine cowling because he's actually looking at current real-world pictures of the jet. And on Real World, I can't remember what tail number it is, there was speed tape right here somewhere. And he actually has that on his American bare metal livery, which is so cool, man. I love, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite livery painters. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but there's a few that are just above, right? You've got J'Aviation, anything Hughes team, Whiskey Throttle are just peak detailed livery stuff. Real-time liveries, indeed, Tim, indeed. Key 6 in the house. What's up, buddy? I need to call Vegas and see what the odds are of us making it safely to Indy. I think we're going to be just fine, man. I think we're going to be just fine. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We were flying the X-Plane 12 level up 7.3 model. Are the engines different? I got to look at my old screenshots. I feel like, unless it's the view, for some reason, I feel like the level up looks different from outside view. I don't get it. Like, the engines are bigger on the level up. It looks different, right, Zach? Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Maybe it's just the camera fisheye, maybe? Fisheye? I'm trying to not fisheye it. I mean, that looks pretty good right there. It's something looks different. I can't figure it out. I think it's perspective. It might just be perspective, Marcus. You might be right. Yeah, Ethereum. Exactly. Ethereum's real good. Last time I heard all set up, an NTSB notification was required. Just didn't I say that on the icing stream? Yeah, we're all set up. My goodness. Man, we have to fly X-Plane 12 again. I'm kind of getting an itch to fly the Felis. Or the MD-11. Night stream. Wife's birthday is tomorrow, so I can't do a night stream tomorrow. Unless we do late night stream. What would you guys rather see, MD-11 or Felis in the X-Plane 12? It might be the stripes, too. That's what I'm saying, Dale. It could be. It's very much could be the livery. You're absolutely right. Play tricks with your eyes. I saw this one eye trick type thing on I was doom scrolling, and it was all black and white, but it's the Coca-Cola logo in this weird like texture looking thing, and your brain processes the logo as red, but there's no red in the picture at all. It's just how your mind plays tricks on you. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's very crazy. I'm looking, oh yeah, it's red, and then it says there's no red in this image. It's your brain superimposing red because your brain is used to seeing the logo in red. Zach says chat will vote Felis will be a saboteur at MD-11 stream. I do like the MD-11, man. Felis cargo would be, I mean, yeah, there's a nice Skylease cargo livery for Felis. That's really dirty. That's a cool view right there. All right, looking at Descent Prague page. We're only 78 miles to go. I'm going to have to pick, hopefully my coffee arrives here soon. I saw a pic of the banana. IG said no yellow here. Wait on the MD-11 until TFDI. Nah, if I wait on that, I won't be able to fly MD-11 until the summertime, man. Because it's not, it's going to be a while, I think. They're not going to release it this week. V1 failing his color vision on his next medical. Felis with hydraulic failure. No, thank you. Imagine doing a 3-crew aircraft with abnormals. That doesn't even sound enjoyable. I like the Freedom 1 livery. Yes. Freedom 1 livery looks like the fuselage is warped. Does it really? I love the Freedom 1 livery, man. It looks really neat. I saw that in Baltimore, actually, last time I was out there. MD-11 is too easy? Dude, what are you talking about? Flying the MD-11 is so challenging. Trying to maneuver that thing for landing is wild. I want to, so I have a question. I wonder if I could modify my flight plan in Iveo. I don't know how. Instead of going to Midway, go to Indy. Just messing with that. I saw the AA Astrojet fly overhead on my way to the employee lot yesterday. Nice. Fearless with failures. Dude, that doesn't even sound like a fun time. Sounds miserable. Fearless with engine V1 cut. Take it 3 engines. I think the Rotate MD-11 last November. I think Rotate updated last November. I think with bug fixes. Yeah, there was an update for years, Proj. We flew it in December, and I really enjoyed it. Zach, there's hardly any Fearless and chill. The only chill time with Fearless is at cruise. It is no chill. Level up 73600 night stream. You know, the 736 would be fun to fly. Straight wing. If we fly X-Plane 12, it has to be nighttime. I've not tried the Saltic 7.4. The default 7.4 is pretty sweet, man. I'm not going to be honest. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to do a long haul on the 748 in Vareg, and we can do it on Iveo standard. So if you want to fly along, we could do it on Iveo, and we could do a 748 long haul, or a 7.4 classic long haul. But the 600 is nice. MD-11 to Kitech. Now that is what I want to do. Need Delano. I want to do Kitech. I got to see if I can figure out how to get Kitech for X-Plane 12. We flew the Fearless. How much time do we have? We have 54 miles to top and drop. Hold on. I got to look this up. We flew the Fearless 747 Cathay into Kitech and X-Plane. Hold on. I got to look for this video. See how well the YouTube search engine works. Oh my goodness, it actually brought it right up. Hold on. We're gonna look at this together real quick. There it is. This was how 4 years ago. Listen to the countdown song back then. Oh, that was before. That was like the pre-countdown song. I like that. Then we had this was during our ground proximity. That's loud. This was during our Asia Pacific tour. Where's the approach? This is X-Plane 11. I sat on a 744 down that path. Let's see. Key here for the nav, glide slope, arm, speed 1. That's not where it should be though in real life. So I'm going to maintain about 1,000 feet here. We're not following the flight director, so I'm going to get rid of the flight director. See, I got to get that scenery set up again. Is that even possible? Where's AJ at? MD-11 to Kitech would be wild. Are we on Vatson? Oh yeah, we were on Vatson back then. See, so there's that. I don't know if there's an inhibit for that.
Approaching minimums. 500.
X-Plane 11 is crispy. Look at this approach, though, in the Fearless. It's wild. Oh, hey, sweetie. Here we go. My little girl just brought in coffee. Look at that. Dude. What a time to be alive.
A little bit of an overshoot there. We'll correct it.
That wasn't a bad approach, but you know what? As challenging as that was, I honestly think the MD-11 would be harder to get into contact.
50, 30,
I want to see the
20.
replay.
10.
We butter it.
A little bit of a floater.
172. I'll take that as a butter.
Oh,
Hold on. I want to get to the replay real quick. How do I... Oh, there we go. I was trying to make this larger for you guys. Let's go to the replay. I honestly think, though, that an MD-11 would be more challenging.
wide a slew action there.
Oh, that was another... That's someone else flying.
Nice job, dude.
Gustavo slewing around. What's
Oh,
our
look, he's
descent?
right
We
on
got
the
33
side. Ooh,
miles
that
to
looked
go.
firm. Oh, no, he's not down yet. Might be a scenery glitch.
We got to do this approach again. But it's got to be either MD-11...
Wow, he's landing long.
Did we do the 340? Yeah, we flew the 340 in there. What's up, Jason? Or Jonathan? V1, big thanks for your streams. X-Men 12 looks great with map enhancement and Sim Haven and Daylight. I need to figure out how to do map enhancement. I have no idea what that is. I will say, I'm going to start a poll right now. I will say that if you use, like, if you spend the time tinkering on X-Men 12, it does look better in daytime for sure. I almost, or how about this? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe that Fila 74. What could we take in 2024? We could take the. We already flew the A340 in there. 747 8i. We could take that in there. All right. There's a poll. We haven't taken the. Did we take the 380? Did you have Flight Tampa Kitech converted for X-Plane 12, Shaq? Might have to get into that. China Airlines MD-11 Taipei to Kitech, that would be sweet. I mean, X-Plane 11 4 years ago, man, fully modded. Look at that thing. How many miles we got? 20 miles. We gotta get ready to start down. And then it's, gosh, I need PMDG. Can you imagine doing this approach? PMDG 74100. I love this Cathay livery. I actually have a model of it. I think I have a 1-200 aluminum. It's not Gemini. I can't remember who made it, but I have a 1-200 of this very livery. So pay attention to the visuals here, the graphics, and we're gonna real quick. We got 17 miles. I'm gonna set 5,000 feet on the MCP here. I'm gonna show you guys our most recent Kitech visit in the A340 visually. I mean, that was perfect. Little bit of a float, rolled it on. Oh my goodness. That was one of the most challenging flights I think I ever did in this on stream. Anything Fearless is going to be right up there with one of the most challenging of all time. But let me see visually now. Look at the differences. So let's go to the approach. Look at the difference. Oh, I'm trying to watch 2K and double stream 2K tax in my system here. I want to see the replay. Yeah, we need better Kitech city buildings, AJ. You're right. Why is it? I don't know why it's so choppy. That's better.
Juice there.
I mean, look at that. There's just no, that's real life. Gosh. I wish we had a classic in Microsoft. I mean, that's real right there. Is that not real life? Look at that. I mean, that looks straight out of the video on YouTube.
1,000.
Isn't that 7.4 Classic going in there? I think we're starting now. We got 1 mile. This is the year of the classics, Dale. This is the year of the classics. I know it is. It's got to be. Oh my gosh, the L1011 is going to be epic. See, if we had TFDI, we could TFDI it in there. Alright, it's time to go to work. I'm going to close that. Alright. No more fun. Back to work. A300. I know, man. Alright, we're on our way down. Let's go ahead and go back to map mode. Zoom you out. Why do we have 310 still in the center? Like, just pump those out. Alright. Have a little sip of coffee. If only, Phoenix Galaxy, if only. I still think the L1011 would be better. I want to do an L1011 All Italia Kitech. Is that the video? There's a video of a All Italia. It's either an MD11 or no, sorry, it's either a DC-10 or an L10. Maybe it was a DC-10 that landed on the side of the runway. Have you guys seen that video? Literally landed on the side of the runway at Kitech. Right now the poll is, wow, pretty heavy MD-11. Well, the good thing about that too is we could launch Iveo Platinum from that MD-11 stream on X-Plane 12. Alright, I mean, it looks pretty heavily favored to, I'm surprised, yeah, MD-11, it's got to be MD-11. Now the question is what livery? I have to look for a really good livery. Something dirty. But a three-holer, the thing with the Felis is a very difficult plane to manage, right? It's very challenging to manage because you're doing the job of 3 crew members. There's a whole lot of panels. You got overhead panels, the flight engineer panel, all of which need to be manipulated. So it's just a ton to manage. But it actually flies relatively docile. It's a really nice hand-flying airplane. It just flies beautifully. It's very stable. You never feel like you're on the verge of being out of control. It's just super high workload. The MD-11, while there's less to manage, hand flying it is, I always feel like I'm on the verge of being out of control. Trying to land it smoothly, trying to manipulate the aircraft, the low speed, high drag configuration. That's the polar difference between the MD-11 and the 7.4 Classic for me. Was it an All Italia MD-11, Matthew? Yeah. I'll look into it. I would definitely look into it. Wish Just Flight would do a VC-10. Oh, yeah. It might. Yeah, Dale, I think it was an MD-11. Yeah, I know it was a 3-holer. All Italia went in there. Landed on the edge of the runway. TFDI is perpetually 2 weeks from the release. Yeah. They've been perpetually 2 weeks away. I don't know what happened. It looked like they were pretty much ready to go, and I almost wonder if it's more of a marketing thing. I wonder if they didn't want to be overshadowed by the PMDG release. So, ooh, Dale, is there a dirty Japan livery for the MD-11? I would definitely do that. I love the Japan livery on the MD-11. That looks really good, like the light purple, right? Or is it pink? There's a couple of really good Asian liveries on the MD-11. Like Japan had some, China had some. Nabil Hamdoui, what's going on, brother? We are diverting. So we diverted from Chicago Midway, and we are headed to Indianapolis. There is our fuel light. Yeah, so it's normal. We'll throw those off. We got alternate flaps. We got FMC2 is out, and our system hydraulic B is drained. So we are going on system A only with alternate flaps into Indianapolis. Ty, yeah, Ty's got a good one. Shaq, yeah, send me a DM, dude. Send me a DM. I love they swore they would have released 90 from April of last year. Well, almost as many people voted as likes on the stream. I know, man. I'm gonna have to, for as hard as we work for these failure streams, not getting enough likes on them. Maybe you guys just want to see A to B, beyond ATC. You know, turn some tunes on. I always think these are more interesting. Don't know what the big deal is. If I ever lost hydraulics midair, I'd simply ask my wife where I put them, and she'd always know. But MD-11 was supposed to come out in September, if not even earlier initially, so I'm taking their word with a bit of grain of salt. Yeah. I agree, though. Rather a stable than a messy one. I totally agree, Grog. Yep. Vareg has a good livery. Yeah, I've got a really good Vareg livery on the MD-11 in X-Plane 12 too. If we're diverting to Indy, can we pick up Boris and his sounds? Yes, AJ. Yeah, we gotta hit him up. Need Boris to get the sound pack. Thrustset, what's up, brother? How you doing? Man, I've been flying my H-60 all along the west coast of California, doing my rescue missions out there in Arcata and Eureka. We got one all the way down to Half Moon Bay. Had some really good weather out there on the west coast, but you guys get upset if we keep flying on the west coast. This is why. Let this be an example. Here, I want you guys to look at this. This is why I fly a lot on the west coast. Look how boring this is. This is the most ugly, boring part of the country to fly over. From the Rockies east is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Then I'll get comments, well, you never fly on the East Coast. This is why. Looks like GM Flatcrest and Chimo. How long have they had collector editions out? People making videos left and right of good aircraft, but no regular release. It's almost degrading. It is a little weird, Phoenix. I almost wonder, Phoenix, if they did that to make the collector edition to set themselves up for if they do another aircraft like a 717 or something, so people would buy the collector. I don't know. It seems interesting. Like if there were so many problems, why would it be collector edition only? I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. I won't be flying it for a while because, like I said, after this week I'll be hardcore in the sims, and then I'll be out on the line on reserve, and life as I know it'll be over. So then I'll sell all my flight sim equipment and just retire from YouTube. All right, out of 18,000 feet, 29 or 88 is set. Seatbelt sign is on. Flight time space prep for landing. And let's do a descent checklist, please. Altimeters, 29 or 88. Let's see, approach preparation, complete pressurization. Ooh, did we update that? What is Indy? 783. So we'll call it 800. 783. Pressurization is checked. Terrain display not selected because there's no terrain. Lights, forgot those too. What's going on here? Lights are set. Descent check is complete. I called dibs on the MCP. Well, whoever's going to get the EFIS is going to get the real juice. The EFIS is where it's at, man. Friday, or no, Saturday thrust set. Saturday. Wish the satellite data in South America was a bit better. Microsoft, the lift line there with textures can be jarring. Yeah, they need a massive just South America ortho update, you know, like to really, because there's a lot of good terrain down there, but the ortho on some of the mountains is pretty bad. Like, they need what they did to, didn't they do an Alaska mesh, or didn't Orbix do an Alaska mesh? We need a South America mesh. Or a Venezuela mesh. We are boat simming in 2026. Yeah, indeed. V1 in 10 years. Real life 737 Captain. Down we go. All right, so coming up on 10,000 feet. Recall. Flight controls. Alright, we got work to do. Alright, descent before landing checks to the line. Approach briefing complete. Seatbelts on. PAs completed. Recall checked. Auto brakes off. I guess you say as required? I don't know, it's just so weird. HUD is set. Radars display set. Cross check. Alright, so as we slow down here, let's take a test of our speed brakes. Yep, we got 2. It looks like the opposite 2 panels, right, from yesterday, which would make sense because now we're on System B operational. So we only got 2 speed brake panels. Very cool. We're going to slow it down at 10,000 feet. Remember, we're not high and fast because we're actually coming down early on profile because we have a near 2-minute extension on our manual flaps. So we can do flaps 1 and 5, 15-second pauses between pressing the alternate flap switch to deploy. I remember an FS9 buying train data per state and it was expensive. Yes, indeed, Cody. Yeah, I remember that too. Am I retiring this year? I'm retiring from YouTube this year. On Friday. What's the limitations of System B? We went over them at the beginning of the flight. We did a very thorough brief. The biggest issue for us is going to be alternate flaps today. So the landing gear is on System A. So yesterday we had System A out. We had to do manual gear extension and all that good stuff. Today we're doing manual flap. All right, so here's my plan. We're going to get down to 5 thou. Once we hit 5, I'm going to begin the slowing process. If I look at the approach chart for 2-3 right, between racing and the final is 7.5 miles. So I would like to be flaps 15 by racing, which is coming up at around 20-ish miles there. So that's the plan. So we're gonna hustle down here. I'm actually we're gonna close it up, or we're gonna open it up. We're gonna go level change, 240 on the speed. Half of our speed brakes out because they don't work very well because we're on System B. I'm gonna hustle on down to 5, and then we're gonna dial in 180 knots, and we're gonna start deploying the flaps. He's actually 64 years old. You just actually some support along with Steve. Ay. K6, my man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hope all is well. The official V1 fishing simulator now available for $199. Dude, K6, I'm so... Thanks, man, for the $5 super chat. I keep going back and forth on Parallel 42 fishing. You know, after doing the group flight with Fabiano and he was streaming the group flight the other week, I had so much fun flying around in multiplayer. Like, it just... Because you can... It's different than, like, network multiplayer and then people get out and walk around. It would be cool if I could set that up for, like, you know, once a month or something. We all go on a fishing trip in multiplayer mode. I look at the I look at the Parallel 42 and get ready to buy it. I'm like, nah, I don't need this. I don't need fishing sim in Microsoft 2024. But then, you know, a few days goes by and I'm like, maybe I do need it. All right, down to 5. Here we go. If the other hydraulic system died, you'd still be able to fly? Yes. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, maybe. Maybe we'll do reversion. One of these days. Tomorrow's, like I said, wife's birthday tomorrow, so we got stuff to do. But we'll see. Yeah, check it, vodka. I loaded into Kennedy, and I saw a 777 ANA like I was supposed to. 1,000 to go. Dendrini, so this is a test flight. I was on IVEO standard today. I just want to make sure I got everything running correctly. Matter of fact, we should probably make some radio calls, huh? Indy traffic, Southwest 357. We're at about 30 miles to the north, setting up for ILS 23, right? Indianapolis traffic. Alright, now let's go ahead and start dialing it back. Let's select 190. Remember, once we pop these leading edge devices out, they're stuck out. So we got plenty of gas right now. We're looking at a little over 8,000 pounds. Gross weight is 129.8. So we're actually going to be lighter than our planned landing data, which is good. All right. Alternate flaps. 230 maximum during extension. We're below that, so let's go ahead and arm the alternate flap switch. Remember, 15 seconds. So let's go ahead and select flaps 1. We're going to click and hold. I'm going to monitor the flap gauge while I'm holding it. Wow, it's slow. See the flap gauge is starting to move. We're kind of 1.5. Leading edge flap transit light is illuminated. Flaps 1. Look at that, we got our leading edge flaps out and slats are out. Looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and bring it up to, so racing is coming up. I tell you what, let's go 180. Gotta wait about 15 more seconds and we'll go ahead and press it again. We went just past 1 there. We're all green now, looking good. Go. We're going to bring you into flaps 5. I wish I could hear it over the wing while holding the switch down. Just going through flap 2. And flap 5. All right, we're flaps 5. And racing is at 5,000, so that looks good. Oops. So if we go flaps 15, we're going to have to listen to the gear. So we're going to wait a few miles here. And speaking of, I need to get recorder up. So that's very cool. It's actually working as intended. Love it, man. I love it. Sidestep it over to the LNAV, of course. Going into Brickyard's house. All right. Keep doing that. All right. Coming up on 10 from racing. Let's go ahead and select flaps 15. So 5. We're going through 10. Can I go to the wing view while this is happening? Oh, nice. It's still held down. There's 10. I'm still holding my mouse down. Flaps 15. Release the switch. Look at that. There's our landing flap. Flap 15. Did it say something about do not arm the spoiler? Ground proc, speed brake, alert will enunciate on landing even with the speed brake lever up. Okay. No, we can still arm them. Alright, plan 15. Alright, cool. So, we're looking good. Let's arm the approach. We're so far out, it's on FAC and glide path, which we don't want. I don't have any VOR load, which is interesting. What approach did I load? I loaded the ILS 23 right? Yeah, init ref, 111.75. 111.75. And because we're so far out, it's telling us 18 miles. 230. It's interesting. All right. We'll try it again up at driver. We'll step down to 4 thou. I really don't want to though, because then we're going to get the gear horn. We're getting a little tighter here. Let's see if we can do it right at racing. Indy traffic southwest 357, about 18 miles straight in, 23 right, Indy. I've never attempted a flap 15 landing before. It says expect to float. You heard me, Vodka? Nice. Can you transmit something? I want to see if I hear you. Our airport's in sight. There it is. Approach. Yes. VOR low, glide slope. A3 is armed. We'll go ahead and start the recording. We're actually 130, flaps 30. Oh no, it's flaps 15. Shoot. 15 to 145. Be 150. Alright. I'm going to set 150. Gear down. Speed brakes armed. 4 landing checklists below the line. Speed brakes armed. Green light. Gear down. 3 green. Flaps 15. Green light. 4 landing checklist complete. Why do I force myself to use the HUD? Because I just like checking it out. I'm not going to use it for this one. I like to see it. Oh, I heard some radio carryover. Might add a little more juice to that. Indy traffic Southwest 357, 10 mile final runway 23 right. He's playing captain while he can, exactly. Well, I get to do the HGS stuff for my typewriter, but that'll be it. Yeah, there's no HUD on the FO side. I'll be schlepping it over here. It's still not a bad view, though. So the runway lights are just on all the time now? Look at that. Since when are runway lights on all the time now in SimWorld? I can't tell if they're on or not. I'm on 122.8 Unicon vodka. Big since you switched them on, forgot to turn them off.
Indy radio check.
Oh, I got you loud and clear now. All right, recording's on. Let's hand fly this approach. Why not? We got a little out of trim. $5 degrees nose up, man. There's gonna be like not a lot of flare in this, is there? Checklist is complete. Everything's done. We've already notified everybody. Do not anticipate using the brace command. Maybe the lights aren't on. Maybe it's just a reflection of the scenery. I actually really like this Indy scenery. We flew it in 2020. I got the free upgrade from Any Builds, so when you put in the upgrade code when you own the 2020 version, I hope it's as good as performance in 24 as it was in 2020. So don't float it.
On standby.
Thanks. Couldn't have better conditions. 13 knots right down the pipe. Below maybe just a hair here.
100.
Just fly it down.
50. 30. 10.
Pretty dang good. If you ask me, no floats. Remember, we're manual braking on this, so I do have brakes. Letting it roll. 70 knots. Yeah, it's not too bad. What do you see me as?
Southwest 73.
That's pretty sick. All right. There's no after landing restrictions like the last time. And new traffic Southwest 357, clear 2 through right taxi gate. All right. So we can't retract them, right? Yeah, they're stuck. So we're going to leave them as is.
Let me know what you see me as I'm off the end of the pier.
Gotcha. We'll get here, we'll do our after lands. I kind of want to try to retract them just to see what would happen. Alright, after landing flow. Reset this to 5 units. Flap panels in the up position. The flaps are foobarred. Auto brakes are off. Flight director auto throttle. Flight director is off. We'll go ahead and spin the APU. Get the bleeds and packs as required. I'm going to see if I can go up. Hold it. Look how slow they are. That's awesome. I'm just going to keep holding it up here for a second. That is painfully slow. That's so awesome, though. We got alternate flap extension. You don't have alternate flap extension in the Airbus. You're pretty much cooked. Cranking the car windows. Landing like that, just point you didn't go into midway. I know. Well, so the main reason I didn't have a midway scenery either, and I wasn't.
You're looking King Airish.
Wasn't going to spend $20 on a one flight stream because midway's mid. Alright, still holding it. And we're going to make a right turn. Yeah, he does look like a King Air. Yeah, you look like a King Air.
I do.
Scrub the nose wheel a little bit. I'm still holding the switch. I don't know, are the slats moving or not? I can't tell. No, they're done. They're not coming up. Alright, so there you go. It says up, but they're extended. And they're out of position. That's so cool. Alright. Let's go ahead and disarm that, so we'll go ahead and turn you off. Flaps are extended, which is great. We'll leave the lights as is. I'll actually leave the recording going since we're all the way this far. We'll park next to this King Air over here. Leading indicator is up top. That's only TE. Well, that says leading edge flaps right there. I love this Indy scenery. We should fly out of here more often. Terminal is great. People walking around up there. Parking on Bravo 17. Get on the line here, Captain problems. 737-800 is the second line. Oh, I got... Oh, ooh, we can do it from right here. Would flaps retract in the air? No. That's why it says that they will not retract in case you go around. So you got to be cautious. Erp. All right. Brake set. Generator on bus. Let's do an actual shutdown flow since we haven't done this in a while. So let's go 1, 2, transponders coming off. Back up here. We're off, off, off. That's all clear. We can reset that light. And APU bleed, we don't have it, right? So then if we don't have the APU bleed, we'll go ahead and get the anti-collision light off. Well, we would have got all those. Those would have been off. Window heats come down this panel like so. Electrics come off. And then that's it. Welcome to Indianapolis. My goodness. Why are your bees off after landing? Why are my bees off after landing? Because, did you read the title of the stream? That might give you a clue. Alright, let's take a replay of that one. Live full. First and foremost, let's take a look at our landing rate. Diversion detected. Yep, set as diversion. Complete now. Review flight. 215 according to Valanta on that one, which you know what, I'll take it. But that is so cool having the flaps just hanging down. All right, we'll disconnect from here. All right, and let's do a state. So this is actually going to mess with. You know what? No, how did we do this before? We'll put those into run. We'll put you back on. We'll get rid of the lights by putting these on. And we'll put we'll leave the APU on bus. So I think we can just go into replay like this. Yep. Now the problem is, are the flaps going to extend in replay mode without I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to manually hold it down again. Yeah, I got to keep holding it down. Can I flick it down? Hold it down. Migs, this is the Maryland 1 livery for Southwest. Maryland 1. Or excuse me, not Maryland 1, sorry. Illinois 1. Illinois 1. J'aviation, Illinois 1. Love it. I'm starting to like the 7.3, guys. She's growing on me. She is growing on me. Does it not sound odd to you in the flight deck while flying level? I don't think it sounds odd, but I haven't been flying in the flight deck, so... Like right here? Well, I wouldn't listen to anything sound-wise right now, because replay mode things tend to get a little wonky, especially thrust. I'm still holding the switch down. Man, I would much rather have this failure in a Boeing than a flap failure in an Airbus. This is way more fun. Get to flip an extra switch, slow deployment of the flaps. Airbus, you're pretty much cooked. You move the flap lever, if you don't get any more, then you're going to approach at 190 knots and hold on to your butt. That's basically the difference. Now, what's interesting in my book is it shows for... Oh yeah, for System B, flaps 15. For System A, it says we can go further? I don't know. Let's see, where are we at now? We are, went a little bit past it. That's all right, a little extra flap juice for the landing. Now let's make it 15. Let's come back up a little bit. Come up to 15. Right about there. Right, flaps 15. Finally coming to my senses, AJ. Look, is that downtown Indy off the left? Oh no, is it stuck in the up position? It is. Oh, that's so bizarre. I didn't realize you had to hold it for down and toggle for up. The MiG section of 6 Canadian blasphemy. Remember the Airbus gospel. Do not fall for this Boeing hearsay. I appreciate you, Migs. I know, man. I know it, dude. This channel was built on Airbus. I have betrayed the Airbus. Nah, I mean, the Airbus is still fantastic. I still think it's a better airplane overall. But 738, I think, is more fun, man. Thank you, Migs. Appreciate the super chat, though. Hard streets of downtown Indy, literally. Really? Oscar stick. Yeah, where's the, is that Lucas Oil right there? Yeah, that's Lucas Oil. So I want everybody to feast their eyes on why we don't fly middle of the country and eastbound. Absolute boringness. Look at the nice texturing on the wing here for the exit. That's really cool. J'Aviation, man, is cooking. A little bit of leading edge grime out that side. Flightdeck to Sim has won the Boeing versus Airbus competition. No, you can't win the competition if you don't typed on both. You have to be typed on both to have a valid opinion in the Airbus versus Boeing. So my opinion will be valid in another month. I love that wing flex, that little Boeing wing flex out there. No, 330 driver is not typed on the bus. Typed on a 330. That'd be like me saying the 767 is better than the A320. That's bait. What were you connected as, Vodka? When I saw AJ and I both saw you as a King Air, what were you connected as? Kappa Flyer should be getting liveries for Xbox soon. Just wish Peter would give us new ones. Yeah, well, Xbox, man, you're kind of stuck to that, huh? PC world, man, you can download whatever you want as long as the community's got them out there. Oh my gosh, really? Look at the spoiler deployment. We're missing 2. That didn't look like a 2-something hundred. Golly, this sim is great. All right, let's wind it back. Just hold it. Hey, tell you what, we're not too bad. Let's try Fabiano replay mode. Right about here. We'll go here, reset the camera. Chase plane who? Too fast though, hold on. This is the default to like 5. I just want a little bit of grass, just like that. Oh, we touched down way over here. Thank you, Mix, for their soup chat. Says, is that a Dash 200? Then I'm cooked on my landing. If that's a 200. Yeah, that didn't seem... What did it say? 275? I'm going to have to call... Where's XP72? Somebody call... Yeah, my replay said 171. 284? Where's XP72? We got robbed. 100% robbed on the first one. The replay Volanta said it was 170. Which that looks a lot more like a 170. Man, that looks textbook for Flap 15. Thank you, Mix. Appreciate you. All right. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did that. We got 2 hydraulic failures have been accomplished now in the 737. That leaves us with a couple other failures, perhaps an engine out here coming up soon. But that might not be for a little while. May not do that till after training. So, I had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. Something a little bit different. East Coast, middle of the country, mid-flying with pretty dang good system simulation here on the PMDG 737.
Too low. Terrain.
Pretty juicy landing. And we are set for our long haul then for the MD-11 later this week for sure. Yeah, we will be doing that one. We might, it's still early, we might dabble in a second stream this evening in either the Learjet or the Citation. I haven't really come up with one yet here. The night is young, we'll see. I'll see if I have anything I gotta do here this afternoon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the bank angle checks. Thank you for hitting that like button for it. It's one of the best things you can do to the channel. Hit the like button. Keep the YouTube algorithms happy as we make our way through the 737 and become proficient sim-typed pilots on this old dinosaur. So until the next one, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Monday. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'm V1. So